Dion, it's time to talk about one of your favorite things, UNC athletics. I know you're absolutely just dying to discuss this. That man, Bill Belichick, it's ACC. I don't remember what they call it. I'm just going to say ACC Media Day because that's easier. They got a word for it, but basically a huge thing comes out per Inside Carolina. Um, One of the like ACC chairs or something basically had a 56-minute opening discussing all of the conference realignment stuff and everything of that nature. Basically, it's been reported that UNC is eyeing a move to the SEC from the ACC, which I don't really understand why that would surprise anyone. Like, why would I guess I'll just start with this, Dion. Like, why would you ever want to be in the ACC over the SEC?
Well, two things. I read the article. I'm not sure UNC's done anything like differently than they've been doing for the last couple years, where they kind of just twerk for the SEC to take them. I think it's just the same thing. I'm not sure UNC's done anything substantial to put themselves in a position to move to the SEC, other than just say, hey, we're interested, which that's been pretty well known, I think, for honestly over like a decade. Like if all this kind of like blew up in the ACC's face, Duke goes what to the Big Ten or independent, and North Carolina goes to the SEC, right? That's
Yeah,
always been
and
the consensus.
I honestly think the only reason it's a story is because Bill Belichick. Like, I just think from a football standpoint, it does make it a little bit more of an intriguing talking point. But I'm sitting here, I'm reading the article. They're saying like the projected timeline would be 2030 because the buyout drops from 93 million to 75 million. Listen, man, I'm a UNC alum and a Patriots fan. I love Bill Belichick. The chances of him still coaching in 2030,
Crazy.
like zero.
Also, 18 million should not be the reason not to do something. Also, I do want to let this be known. Are we sure UNC's good enough at basketball to go to the SEC? Like, are we sure the SEC as a basketball conference would be like, hey, this is who we want to add?
Well, for starters, insane. I'm not gonna go like full Riley Davis mode on you, but I mean, I just if I'm a U like as a UNC fan, I'm like, oh, you know, why would I want to do that to myself? Because the
We'll go
comp
to the
is
SEC.
well, like obviously it's better for the school, but like listen, people can say what they want. I mean, I think people are fine with being in the ACC, not because, oh, the ACC is great, the ACC is this, the ACC is that. Like, it's tough. I will say this. I think going to the SEC would make them a little bit more aggressive in terms of spending and NIL because if they didn't, they would be embarrassed.
Not on basketball, respectfully. So I think what this move would signal is a couple of things. One, it would signal the end of the ACC. Um, It doesn't happen if Duke also isn't leaving, and Florida State would subsequently leave. Miami leaves too. We know Florida State wants to leave. They've been trying to leave. They're begging the SEC to show any interest in them. So I think what it would do is kind of like when Texas and Oklahoma left the Big 12, and then like subsequently it was like a little bit of a domino effect in both directions. Teams left, teams came, so on and so forth. Like I think it would kind of signal a little bit of that, a little bit more conference realignment. Maybe it ends in the ACC existing, maybe it ends in the ACC being the new Pac-12. Who knows? It would also signal like a commitment to football, I think. And I think it would actually come at the expense of the basketball team, because I don't think financially it would create any more money for basketball than North Carolina already has. I think North Carolina has all the money in the world to put together a $20 million basketball roster like Kentucky does if they want to. I think what it would signal is like, okay, Belichick made us sign pretty much a prenup that's like 300 pages, and we have to spend X amount of money to make him happy. We're going to do that, and we want to be committed to football because I love college basketball. You love college basketball. College football makes a lot more money.
Not even close. Also, like, I do agree with that. Like, it doesn't necessarily change revenue or anything for the basketball program. I just think it makes them look in the mirror a little harder in the sense of if they do what they did last year in terms of not spending and having that roster and everything, I mean, it's bad in the SEC. Like, they get absolutely embarrassed.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2K Labs or maybe college football labs because the people behind 2K Labs have just built something awesome. CFB Labs.com has everything you need to play college football 26 even better. Cart, you've been playing the game, right?
I have been, but I'm behind the eight ball, Gregory. There's a lot of people out there who got a little bit of edge on me, but the good folks over at 2K Labs got me covered. They got the playbooks I need, the plays, the head-to-head coaches, knowing some teams. Obviously, way too many college football teams. I need the inside edge here, and they got all different types of things to help me get that edge.
Yeah, I jumped in and started playing Road to Glory over the weekend, and I ended up like a two-star recruit that did not get one snap in season one because I chose the wrong school with the wrong roster that was way too loaded. Had I known that CFBLabs.com exists, I would have made a much more wise decision in my Road to Glory mode. They've got teams, playbooks, coaches, team comparison tools. You can literally see every single play in the game, every player in the game, their rating, what they're good at, all in one consolidated place online to help you make the right choices and win more games in college football 26. CFBLabs.com. Go check it out.
But it's worse if you do the same thing in football. It's on a much larger scale, right? So like that's the aspect of it. I think it doesn't change anything revenue wise for basketball. It changes everything revenue wise for football. And I think in the long run, it ends with basketball being a priority too, right? Like I kind of look at the way Alabama built its programs up, and then eventually, basketball was the same way. North Carolina obviously isn't building a basketball program. Please don't be mad at me, Carolina fans. I'm just saying, initially, if they get to the ACC, I think 70% of the focus is like, let's fix this football program. And then once it's fixed, it's going to be, let's fix the basketball program. It just because they're going to flat out a football conference. I know I joked about them being a basketball conference in the beginning, but like you can't pull up to the SEC without a football team.
No, you can't. And I agree. Like, the ultimate fine line here is that if there was a way that UNC could say we're just going to join the SEC for football,
They
they
would.
do it. And that's how you know it's a football focused move because at the like I know you saw the announcement. They've got the thing, they've got Kirk Herbstreit and they've got Saban and all those guys for a UNC TCU game. And that's only because Bill Belichick is there. He's clearly trying to make it more of a football school. I don't think it will ever be a full football school. Like when I was in school there, man, I don't know if there was ever times. The only time I remember there being like 60 to 70% capacity in the football stadium was for an NC State or a Duke game. Like, it's just never going to be a full football school, but I definitely think this signals a huge commitment. And I also just want to say, like, UNC in the SEC, a lot more appealing to my dog Nate Oates in 2 years.
If they wanted to spend that much. The only thing I'll say is if this was a basketball focus move, I think they go with Duke. I,
Yeah, see, that's the part that really drags this whole conversation down. What happens to the rivalry? Because it's the best rivalry in college basketball, and it's like if they just can't play twice a year now because they're not both in the ACC, that's gonna suck.
well, I think they still schedule like home and homes every year, and it's like written in contract, like we'll play once a year, which is fine for basketball. What it signals is like we don't care about the football rivalry. We can figure it out basketball wise, but here's where we want to be. It makes us the most money.
Yeah.
And if I'm a UNC basketball fan, it would be, and I'm probably not the person they want to hear this from, and they're probably gonna like not believe me because it's coming from me, and I get it. I've made a lot of jokes at UNC and Hubert Davis's expense. It's probably a reason Hubert's still there, though. I would say that. Cheap contract. They know that they're going to spend on the roster. They probably know what's coming. His contract runs out in 2030. They move to the SEC in 2030. There's a lot of alignment stuff there that would make sense to where it's like, I don't think they want to make the move for Nate Oates just yet. I do think their focus is probably on football. I don't know much about the UNC football coach. I can't imagine he did any more to be relieved of his duties than Hubert Davis did to be relieved of his duties, and Hubert got an extension. Meanwhile, the football team got the greatest coach to ever live. It's everything they're doing signals like we want to prioritize football for a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
No, not at all. And I think the last thing to say on it is the lens has just shifted because this is new leadership. Like this is Roberts and Newmark now. Like this is not the same like the same leadership. We don't know what their focus is. They haven't been there long enough to really map out their exact plan. And it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I just I just think watching Bill Belichick against SEC teams would be elite entertainment.
I doubt we actually get to see that. But I do think what I do think is interesting is I always wondered when Steve Belichick, his kid, was on the way. And he is on the coaching staff, right?
I think so, yeah.
But he wasn't named in like head coach in waiting, like we all.
No, that was made up.
I think this is why Belichick and them know, like Bill, you're the one that gets us to the SEC. We are going to pay you handsomely to get us there. You can leave before we ever get there. And once we're there, they're going to get somebody. The days of UNC not having a football coach that's at least a household name is over. And
Yeah,
I think it does signal that. By the way, with everything I said about the basketball team, they don't need to prioritize basketball to put out a really good basketball team. They're literally about to do it this year. Very quietly, they put out a really good team. So I think it's one of those things where like UNC is always going to be a basketball school. They're always, I don't say always going to have good basketball teams because boy, did this team stink up the joint this year. But in theory, they're always going to be able to put out a good basketball team. At the moment, I think they want to put out great football teams because in the end, it will actually make the basketball team better because of the extra money.
100%. I don't think they'll ever get to like the Alabama level of football, but just that sense of the football team becomes super successful and it feeds into the other programs. I definitely see that being the vibe. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.